And we have returned to IcoPod, episode 16. I am Bob Collins Jr. With me, as always, is Austin Skinner.
A bigger penis size than Virgil.
Good Lord. Is that... I don't even want to know if that's true.
So we're, a couple seconds in, and we already dropped the P word.
Yes. That's a record.
We're getting sued.
Yeah, you have fuck money then, if you got bigger dick than
Damn
Virgil.
right. And I ain't lonely, I'll tell you that.
Ooh. How does a guy with that... But he's never have anybody around him.
They're scared.
Oh,
it's like an anaconda.
I was just going to say probably.
He's Jake the Snake.
Yeah, great. So if you have maybe an anaconda for a penis and you want to tell us, well, you can. You can go to the IcoPod Facebook page by typing in IcoPod, and then you can send us an email at icopodpodcast@gmail.com.
Pics or it didn't happen.
I don't really want that email to be flooded with freaking pics of people's dicks.
Pics of dicks. That's got a nice ring.
That's a catchphrase.
That has got a
How
nice
does somebody not...
ring to it.
That should be someone's gimmick.
That should be in our inbox.
Hi, my name's Sammy Callahan, and I'll send you pics of my dicks.
Oh, plural.
Yeah, he's probably got a couple.
He's got a collection.
He's probably got a couple. Well, I mean, he's got those brothers with him.
Fuck Sammy Callahan.
Yeah, he sucked on Raw in '93. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he was alive.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know. All right, so here we are. We're still doing Raws. Don't worry, it's not 2018 for the podcast. It's still '93.
I know you guys are disappointed.
Yeah, I know you're probably thinking, well, we're talking about Sammy Callahan and his penis. So you probably, maybe if you're listening to this, you might not even know who Sammy Callahan is.
Thank God.
And you know what? You're better off. We are here with the focus going to be on the April 19th edition of Raw. But before we get into that, as per usual, there's some little tidbits and notes to get through.
Tell him how it is, Bob.
I will, brother. It would appear that WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan will be only working 3 dates for the entire month of May.
Ugh.
It will be May 21st in Pittsburgh, May 22nd in Philadelphia, and at the Meadowlands. And then he will be working 3 to 4 dates starting in June.
Boy, we're going to get spoiled in June.
Can't wait. I think
Hogan's saturated.
I believe it was 3 or 4 dates per week in June. So he'll be working a more full-time schedule.
I like 3 or 4 dates in June better.
Yeah, no, I want to say it was each week.
Damn.
Well, spoiler alert, that is drastically incorrect. Giant Gonzalez did his first ever jobs to The Undertaker during the European tour.
About time.
Well, you don't think it's a little early?
I think there's no steam behind Giant Gonzalez as a heel.
Really?
I don't know. He's an attraction guy.
Yeah, but I think there's still interest there with him.
I mean, they haven't done the blow-off with Undertaker yet, but I feel like once that's done...
he's done.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Like, you can't book him anymore.
Yeah, if he loses on pay-per-view to him or something...
That's it.
Yeah, it'll be cooked.
Yeah.
Well, remember Ron and Don Harris? And how I was like, oh, they're coming in? Yeah, well, that's not happening.
Oh.
So apparently they're not coming in after all.
That kind of sucks.
I've never been a Harris brother guy.
It's another tag team.
Yeah, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I would have liked the depth.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I mean, eventually they'll make their way there for real, but
they're bald, so.
And they're like kind of racist though, too. They're like not.
Well, so is everybody else on this show,
including you. So that's pretty good.
What?
I don't know.
What an asshole!
I'm making that up, of course. Hey, also remember the USWA Lawler and Savage.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that is apparently losing steam already, and pretty drastically, as their matches now have been drawing around 500 instead of 1,800. So they're not really able to withstand the high attendance that they were doing. I think at one point they got like 2,600 even too. So.
Yeah, I feel like with something like that, I mean, they're both strong mic guys. So that's going to kind of carry the heat, I would think. I mean, I'm sure maybe their matches are decent, although probably nothing extraordinary. I
haven't seen them in the USWA, but I'm hoping that it's a Southern Brawl blood.
I doubt it.
I know, but I want to believe that.
No, if
it's
it was
not
that,
a WWF match,
Right.
That's what I'm.
I mean, if it was that would be something completely different. But I don't think Vince is letting Savage do that. Outside of WWF.
I don't think so either. Friar Ferguson, maybe Austin Skinner's new favorite wrestler, was originally a heel, and his name was the Mad Monk, but was turned face due to the WWF being afraid of any kind of heat with religious groups.
Oh, so that makes sense. Let him sit on people's faces, shake his little tunic around, his little robe, and do the holy blessing as his crotch is on your face.
Well, that's more of a probably accurate assumption that monks would do that.
Okay.
I mean, I would have to think.
Whoever greenlit a wrestling monk in this way is an idiot.
Well, Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and all those other guys then.
Yeah, fuck them for that.
Because they had thought of it.
How did that get past the piece of paper?
No
How?
idea. And even made TV.
In a kind of a featured spot, like, oh, look at the debut of Friar Ferguson.
More than once, too.
Who thought that even name was good?
Yeah, Friar Ferguson. I don't know.
Fucking horrible. Horrible.
I'm not disagreeing with you. There's 2 house shows that I have noted here. They both took place on April 14th. The first one here is from Newcastle, England. And it took place at the Whitley Bay Ice Rink.
Uh-oh.
Or Whitley Bay, whatever. I can't pronounce words anymore.
Whitley?
Whitley. I'm assuming
Whitley Bay.
It featured Typhoon taking on Damien Demento, Kamala against Kimchi, Doink the Clown against Crush, Yokozuna and Jim Duggan, Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels took on Bob Backlund, Nasty Boys Head Shrinkers, Mr. Perfect Lex Luger. Pretty much the same card from the last episode.
Yeah, and again, I would probably, I'd probably attend that.
Yeah, I would as well. But the second one is from Brussels, Belgium, at the National Force Arena. And obviously also took place on April 14th. And this crew had Virgil taking on Terry Taylor. Doink the Clown, he took on Tito Santana. Tatanka battled Papa Shango. The Steiner Brothers battled WWF Tag Team Champions Money Incorporated. The Bushwhackers battled Beverly Brothers. The Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez squared off. And in the main event, Bret Hart took on Bam Bam Bigelow.
Probably would have been skipping that one.
I would go to that one.
You would?
I think so.
What would have sold you?
Steiner Brothers Money Incorporated.
Sure.
Bret Bigelow, just because the undercard's pretty good too there. And Taker Gonzalez probably as well.
See, I don't know because we've heard Bret taking on Bam Bam a couple cards now, but I don't think that's enough to sell me into the building. I mean, honestly, out of anything on that card, the tag match probably would have maybe drawn me to the show. But for me to go to a WWF show for a tag match, I probably would have just.
Well, and you also have to consider who I was liking at the time. Virgil. There's Doink, Tatanka, and Papa Shango.
Right.
Steiner Brothers, Money Incorporated. I mean, this just seems to be right up my alley here to go to.
No, that's fair. I mean, again, I don't think I would have attended, but I could see your argument, Bob.
Okay.
I give you points.
Okay, you're sounding pretty snooty about it. I wouldn't go to that one because I'm too cool to see Virgil.
I would have been in Whitley Bay.
Whatever.
Enjoying my time instead of being like, why the fuck did I buy a ticket to this bullshit?
Yeah. Well, you know what? And I want to point out Terry Taylor here. Probably really random, but I was reading a magazine earlier today.
Oh, boy.
And a magazine that you can actually read the recap of at WrestlingRecaps.com. Wink.
Share, like.
Subscribe. I don't even know. Subscribe.
Whatever.
Give me money.
Yeah.
It was the wrestler from February 1993. That was the magazine.
Okay.
And on it was a list of like guys that I just had a woman hit me up. Gotta get rid of that.
Yeah, I just saw some skin on that one.
Yeah, it was definitely a vagina picture. Anyway, so Terry Taylor. I'm sorry. I wish I could say that with a straight face. I have no game. That was not anything. Anyway, so Terry Taylor's in the magazine. In reference to. I guess the magazine was published around the time Bret Hart had won the WWF World Title.
Okay.
So October 92, probably November 92 was released or whatever.
Sure.
Or it was written. And it has like top 5 challengers for the title. And it had Razor Ramon, Ric Flair, Bulldog, Taker, and then Terry fucking Taylor.
Whoa, boy, that's a wild card at the end there.
Yeah. I was like, there's no fucking way that anybody in the history of wrestling coming that time, the guy who used to be Red Rooster,
Yeah.
should be challenging Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Also, he was supposed to have retired about 3 months ago.
So, and we've covered this Raws back now, like several Raws back. I've never understood the appreciation for Terry Taylor. Maybe it's because his style isn't a style I necessarily enjoy. But to be champion in 1993 sounds ludicrous.
Yeah.
Like, never would that happen.
Well, I remember in the article, they had made mention of, like, oh, not the Red Rooster kind or Tailor-Made Man version. No, but the guy from the UWF or Mid-South.
Yeah, but we're not going to get him.
Yeah, but if you book him that way, maybe you would.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
Well, if you ask.
Like, please, Vince? Like,
Come
just
on.
do it, dude.
We
Come
want
on.
the guy from Mid-South where he had like Ric Flair. Come on.
Make me a star.
Yeah.
Be a star.
I feel bad for Terry Taylor, to be honest with you.
I do too.
He
But
got
at the same,
shafted.
Yeah, but at the same time, everything happens for a reason.
What are you, a horoscope now?
I don't think it's a horoscope.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It's
Bob.
brighter on the other side of the rainbow. Like, what the
Oh, you know what? In Terry Taylor's case, it might have been. It might have been brighter on the other side of the rainbow if he had made that jump.
Yeah, maybe. Well, he did. He went to WCW, and he went back to WWF. And it turned out to not be bright on the other side of the rainbow. So he
It
went
would
back.
have been brighter for us because he wouldn't be on Raw anymore.
That's true. Well, he hasn't been on Raw since the Crush match.
Don't jinx it.
Fuck.
Don't jinx it.
Damn it. You know what? I swear to God, if he's on the next... Okay. Let's just move on. Syndication. Now, there was 2 matches here that I had sent to Austin to watch. And guess what Austin decided to do? He big-timed me. And he said, fuck you, Bob. I ain't watching it. But
Okay.
don't worry, I did.
Let me back myself up here because you're fucking burying me quicker than a shovel.
Okay.
Because I wasn't creative enough to come up with something else. So you sent me these on Facebook and said nothing.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, these look like good matches. I plan to watch these. But then I procrastinated and forgot about them.
So that's your fault.
Partly.
No, it's 100%.
Because you were never like, hey, did you watch those matches?
I feel like I did this the last time, too. Like, I just sent you videos, and then you watched them.
No.
Yeah, with the
You
Doug
definitely
and Yokozuna.
wrote a message, or you let me know, like, hey, I'm going to send you these matches, watch them.
I thought you would just know.
No. I just thought, like, hey,
Why does
these-
that work for girls? Why can girls be like, oh, I thought you would know that today's my birthday? Or I thought you would know I wouldn't like that. I thought you would know. Just know that, oh, hey, here's a video. Bob sent it to me. I should probably click it and then watch it.
I fully intended on doing that.
Yeah, so you fucked up. I didn't fuck up. You just didn't want
You
to
fucked up by not reminding me.
Yeah, whatever.
I need help. I have
I think
Alzheimer's.
I think I literally sent it to you like last night.
Well, okay then. Well, that's the point, you motherfucker.
I know, but I'm putting the heat on you.
Well, I wanted to watch these. I'm sorry I didn't.
Whatever. Don't worry.
So it's just going to be Bob talking about it, and I'll give my thoughts on what Bob.
Yeah,
kind
you
of
can be like,
bullshits.
oh, hey, that sounds like something I would want to watch.
And it probably will be, but again, we're gonna glaze over the subject.
We would know for sure if you had watched it. So the first match is Owen Hart taking on Bam Bam Bigelow.
Which I wanted to watch.
Oh, you didn't. So the match starts off. I want to make a note that it originally took place on Superstars,
Oh, okay.
but the YouTube video is from All American Wrestling. So just a commentary difference, I think. There's a gorilla and Bruce Pritchard as the wizard or something like that.
Oh,
It was
God.
weird. Anyway, so the match starts off with Owen Hart hitting a dropkick, and then Bigelow comes back to hit a kick to the side of Owen's head, and Bigelow continues to work over Owen with basic overhand strikes. And so Owen does the same kick that Bigelow had just done and then hits a dropkick as well. Owen heads to the top rope and hits a missile dropkick and then nearly wins with a sunset flip. Bigelow misses an elbow drop after a scoop slam. Owen keeps control of Bigelow on the mat, working over his arm for a brief time. And then Bigelow sends Owen to the floor with a dropkick as we go to a commercial. Your favorite mid-match commercials. Owen slingshots into the ring and tries a crucifix, but is met with a Samoan drop. Bigelow drops Owen gut first over the top turnbuckle, and it's at this point in time that Owen holds his right knee, and it appears that he may have been injured. It's even noted on commentary. They say, oh, he might have just blown out his knee, pretty like passively. Bam Bam lifts Owen into the air and then drops him face first down to the mat. Bigelow works over Owen with headbutt strikes in the corner before putting him in a bear hug. Owen tries for a slam but fails as Bigelow lands on top for a near fall. Bigelow sends Owen hard chest first into the turnbuckles, which is a spot that Brett does. So I'm just wondering what's the bad luck there for the Hart family.
Well, and it's funny too because, again, foreshadowing and hearkening back to some of the previous episodes we've done. Did we not go over the fact that you're not supposed to work the right side of the body?
No, he did not.
But he was selling it.
Well, here's the thing. So when he puts him on the top turnbuckle,
right,
his knee, I think, hits the metal rod part. So Bigelow's not working over the knee.
Oh, okay.
It just happens that it like crashes
like a
up against
accident or whatever.
He was not focusing on
okay. All right. Sorry, I had to sidetrack you there.
Yeah, no, you're good. Owen tries to do a springboard to the top rope, which I would think was going to be a springboard twisting crossbody, but is unable to and collapses to the mat holding his knee. At this point, Owen can't put any pressure on the leg. Anytime he's running ropes or anything, he's pretty much just hobbled, but is able to avoid Bigelow in the corner. And then Bigelow picks him up, and it seems as if he makes eye contact with Owen, because the camera's to the back of Owen, so you can't see Owen's face. And because instantly, Bigelow just slams him and then hits a top rope diving headbutt for the win. So I'm thinking Owen might have communicated to Bigelow, like, hey, I just tore my knee. Like, we got to go home or something. I thought it was actually a pretty enjoyable match, though.
From what I'm hearing you describe, it sounds like SummerSlam 1993. You could have Owen and Bigelow fighting for the Intercontinental Championship.
I mean, if you properly build up Owen Hart.
Yeah, but because this match sounds pretty damn good.
It's constant action. I mean, there's like a few wrestles or whatever, but it's pretty to the point.
Yeah, like I want to see more of that.
Yeah. I feel like Bigelow, I have it noted here, I feel as if Bigelow's been pretty impressive following the Rumble appearance with Boss Man.
But I have to disagree with you because it matters on who Bigelow's in the ring with.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's not, I don't completely credit Bigelow for that because if they let him, Bigelow can fall flat on his face. And like has a couple of Raws. Like it's been not impressive, nothing great. So he's one of them guys who really, really to me has to have the right opponent. I'm sorry, I know you do like Bam Bam, but
well, I think that's a fair
point.
Know. If he's working with someone smaller, so you look back at he had a match with Scott Taylor,
right,
which I really enjoyed,
right.
But he's pretty much the same size. Or, well, not the same size, but the same
height-wise,
kind of size.
I mean,
as
he's
Owen.
close, yeah.
I think that's fair. But in terms of the way that they're presenting him,
yes,
I've been impressed.
Yes, and that's fair. But you know what? And I maybe it's not a fair comparison, but comparing him to other big guys like Yoko, I feel like you put Yoko in there with kind of anybody, and it comes off a little better. Just presentation-wise.
Yeah.
I feel like Bigelow's in a really weird, not quite a big man, and definitely not a small man. Mm-hmm. So he's a hard guy to kind of fit in spots. So that's kind of why I feel like, and I don't mean to fault him, but it's like a nature thing. He just has a hard time fitting in spots.
He's got to pick a style and stick to it.
Exactly.
Either you're a big guy, boom, or you're like a big guy who flies.
And exactly, and it's hard for him because, again, he does fall right in that gray area, and not a lot of guys do.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, kind of draws me away from Bigelow. And again, I don't think it's to discredit him necessarily. It's just the lay of the land kind of thing.
Yeah. So that's something that maybe a match you'll check out?
Oh, yeah, dude. If they push that and made that into an angle, I'd be all over it.
Well, considering Owen blew out his knee, we probably won't be seeing him for 6 months. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Right. Hey, SummerSlam? Well,
no,
that's
not 6 months. 6 months would be like October.
WrestleMania. WrestleMania 10, baby.
Yeah. Woo. Okay, so that match took place, well, it was aired, I should say, on April 17th.
Okay.
So Superstars. The following day on Wrestling Challenge, the Beverly Brothers took on the Nasty Boys. How's that? Doesn't sound as appealing?
See, maybe this is why I didn't watch these, because I saw that match and I was like, I can pretend that I saw him.
Okay, so I want to just point out then that the Owen Bigelow match was, the whole video was like 7 minutes, so the match was probably like 6.5, 6 minutes. This Beverly Brothers and Nasty Boys was about 12.
Oh, no.
So let me just do a rundown on this action
Oh,
here.
no.
Now, you might be wondering, why am I doing this? I usually will want to touch base on feature matches, maybe for superstars or anything irrelevant.
Right.
So Owen Hart getting hurt makes sense. And then Beverly
Right.
Brothers are getting a focus on television, so this is kind of making sense.
Exactly. Yep.
Sags and Beverly start the match, and Sags gets decked in the corner while the referee is not paying attention, or out of position, I should say. Bo has control for a brief moment before getting hip tossed and clotheslined by Sags. Knobbs enters and clotheslines Bo. Knobbs slams Blake, followed by another clothesline. Knobbs drives Blake face first down to the mat by his hair, and then tags in Sags. Blake works over Sags, but misses a splash in the corner, hitting his shoulder. Knobbs is met with a knee from Bo on the apron, and then an axe handle from the top as the referee was distracted. We go to commercial.
Mid-match break.
Blake has kept control of the match, working over Knobbs with some basic offensive strikes. Bo sends Knobbs hard into the cornerback first and distracts the referee so Blake can choke Knobbs some more. Blake leaps over Bo to splash Knobbs over the top rope for a near fall. Knobbs takes Blake over with a snap suplex. Bo waits on the apron and gets tagged in to knock Knobbs to the floor. Blake drops Knobbs throat first over the guard railing while the referee was distracted. Knobbs comes off the ropes to yank Blake down by his hair. Sags is ready for a tag and gets the hot tag as Bo gets tagged in. Sags pummels Bo with strikes and a pit stop, followed by a clothesline in the corner. Sags plants both Beverly Brothers with a DDT for a near fall. At this point in time, all four men are in the ring, and they're battling it out until Knobbs gets dumped to the floor. Bo comes off the ropes and shoulder blocks Blake to the floor on accident as Blake was holding Sags. Sags rolls up Bo and wins the match. After the match, the Nasty Boys scare the Beverly Brothers from the ring. How amazing did that sound?
Okay, so here's just my off-the-cuff comments on that.
All right.
First of all, if the match was half as fast-paced as you just read it, it was probably really fucking good. But seeing as it took 12 minutes, as you foretold me, it was probably not so great at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty standard match. I may have read that very quickly, but, I mean, I just didn't really...
Here's my other gripe. I feel like no team is getting a specific advantage. Like, they're both on the same plane. There's nothing really going on. There's no real reason for this match. And to me, like, if I was watching this, it probably would have felt like a filler.
Well, it kind of blows my mind that the Nasty Boys won.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Beverly Brothers are apparently in an angle with Money Incorporated. It seemed to be a pretty good opportunity to give them at least one win.
That's a good
A
point.
little bit of momentum or something.
Yeah.
Instead, they just job out to the Nasty Boys.
Well, it just goes to show that behind the facade, the company has no faith in the Beverly Brothers.
I would have to think so.
Yeah.
Because the Nasty Boys have no direction. Mind you, the same tag team that said, hey, we won't take a title match at Mania. We'll give it to Hogan and Beefcake.
Yeah, we'll step aside.
Yeah.
You guys do it. You guys take it.
They have no semblance of direction. I don't know why they wouldn't just put over the Beverly Brothers here. But
Right, because you could use the Nasties as a stepping stone.
elevate them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have been too thrilled about that match.
No, yeah. Owen Hart and Bigelow was definitely the better match. But this was just a relevant match to what's going on, so I was suckered into doing it.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'll probably go back tonight and just out of enjoyment watch the Owen and Bigelow match to see.
Yeah, I would skip the Beverly Brothers match.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, there's also, I want to point out, since King of the Ring is coming up, I know that there's going to be qualifying matches on Superstars and Wrestling Challenge, of course. So I will be passing those along to you.
Okay.
So anything that has King of the Ring qualifying matches.
This is my warning.
This is your warning. Public, hey, it's there. So if we come across, in 2 weeks here, and it's like, hey, man, did you check out that qualifying match? You're going to be like, nope. And I'm going to be like, well, remember, I have a public record that you had known about it.
Fair enough, Bob. All right, speaking of King of the Ring, really quick before we get into Raw. I know we've already been talking for almost a half hour here.
It doesn't feel like it, but go ahead.
But knowing nothing of the tournament bracket, not really knowing, like I can't even recall off the top of my head who was the 93 winner.
You don't know who won?
Maybe I can.
I definitely know who won.
Yeah, maybe I can. Who would you have win your King of the Ring in 1993? Because I know a name that jumped off my head immediately.
Well, okay, on the count of three, let's say, because I have one that came right to my mind.
Okay.
Okay, so on the count of three, we'll say it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lex
Fatu.
Luger. Fatu?
Fatu.
Really?
Make a star.
As a king?
Yes.
The king of the ring?
King Fatu.
I mean, it'd be a way to break him apart from Samu.
Exactly. And you know he can deliver.
Yeah,
Let
in singles.
Samu stay with Alpha.
That'd be
as a
kind of
singles
funny
guy.
to see him as a king. Just the character that he has
He's
as a
well,
head
just
shrinker.
like a Samoan king. You know
He's
what
a
I mean?
wild Samoan guy. So him as a
Yeah.
king, I get to see him with his crown and everything and just eating like fish.
Yeah.
Like a wild.
It's like King Louis from the Jungle Book.
So what does that mean? So SummerSlam, if that were to happen, Fatu against Hulk Hogan?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No. Okay. I don't know about that.
No, I'm telling you.
King of the Ring is usually the step, would eventually become the stepping stone.
Well, okay. Well, let's say somehow Hogan relinquishes the belt. Or so let's say Hogan doesn't have it. And maybe Brett gets it back. You got Fatu and Brett. WWF Championship match.
I mean, it would be a good match for sure. It just seems.
I would buy into Fatu as King of the Ring. I would.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but seeing it maybe in the world title picture so quickly might be a little.
Oh, so like
head
say
scratching.
WrestleMania 10.
It'd be see, even then I don't know. I maybe would have him just win the Royal Rumble or something.
You could.
Because the
you
Royal
absolutely
Rumble to
could.
me should be the one time where it's like an unknown would win.
Or like
a
it's
fluke win.
anybody, right?
Literally, because almost every year it's like the same 5 guys that you think are going to win, and of course one of them does. Most of the time.
Yeah,
Most of the time.
of course. I don't know. I just thought it'd be a cool way to build Fatu, and again, I know he could deliver on that.
No, it is a different way, and I've always liked different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to picture myself.
And who'd you say?
Luger.
Oh,
That's
okay.
an obvious
Well,
thing.
yeah.
But that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah. And guess who my second choice is?
Tatanka.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Really?
Yeah.
King Bigelow. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
can see that.
I think for me, the way maybe I'm interpreting this is let's use the King of the Ring to build somebody because right now we have nobody built. So let's make something.
What if like Doink won it?
Oh my God.
Because you would see him like a king has like a court jester,
Right.
right? So you maybe see the clown as like a court jester, but then he's like the actual king,
Right.
like King Doink.
Right.
It'd be kind of funny.
I feel like that would be harder to buy into.
Yeah, maybe, but I think it'd be kind of funny.
They could, like I said, the possibilities and what they could do with Doink is basically limitless. Could you imagine the hijinks he could do as like King of the Ring, and it's Doink?
Yeah.
It'd be ridiculous. He could have the crown squirt people. He squirts out of the crown.
He could.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. So I don't.
He would
know.
have like a green robe too, or something.
Right.
Like the purple one or something.
Right, like a polka dot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
something
ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yeah. It's got patches all over it, like multicolored patches. Yeah, easily.
That's what I'm always for outside the box ideas.
Fatu was the first guy that came to my mind.
That's not a bad. I mean, it's just. I don't
Like
know,
you
I
said,
guess-
maybe it's too much too soon.
Well, it's not bad, but I mean, I guess he doesn't have credibility, but he also hasn't lost credibility, really.
That would give it to him, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like, oh, hey, fucking Virgil won. Like, what the fuck?
No, yeah.
But Fatu winning it, you might be like, fuck.
Oh, shit. No, I feel like I'd be like, oh, shit.
One thing I know they will never do is they would never have, like, a massively overweight black rapper guy win the King of the Ring.
No.
That never happen.
No.
So I'm sure we can avoid that. Like, over Shawn Michaels or Undertaker. Like, that
No way.
That would never happen.
Yeah.
Like, in Philadelphia, too.
Right.
The crowd won't shit on that.
Right.
They'll do the right thing. So we're going to do the right thing now, too. And we're going to start with the April 1993 edition of Raw, which is from Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
I still like saying Poughkeepsie. And we are taped.
Poo-Pipsy.
Yeah, I said that too, didn't I? Poughkeepsie.
Last week, shout out. Last
Hey,
week.
go check it out. Download it. And we are taped. And we start the show with money. It's like they're not looking. They're like on a side view, talking.
Yeah, it's
to
like a 3/4
somebody.
view.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's literally, so it reminded me of if you were to get portraits done. Like, that's how it looks. So it's a black background, and it's like a very dramatic effect. So the lighting's very dramatic.
No music, right?
No music. And Ted's basically speaking off camera. Like, he's staring off camera as he speaks. And he says, you know, if these bleach blonde morons really think they're going to bankrupt Money Inc. when the mega maniacs couldn't even do it, then they're even stupider than I thought. Or whatever.
He should have said one bleach blonde idiot couldn't do it. What makes you think two of them will?
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been a good line.
Yeah. But it's a fair point. Like, if the mega maniacs couldn't put them away, what makes the Beverlys
Well,
think that they
arguably
can
the
do it?
biggest star in professional wrestling couldn't do it.
Exactly.
Who the hell thinks that two J-Brons who haven't won a meaningful match in 2.5 years will do it?
I kind of think that line from Ted buried the Beverlys immediately.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like, they're done.
It's such a valid point.
Yeah, you're like,
just
it's-
like, yeah, you're right.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's what I gathered from it. And we hear from the Beverly Brothers. Easy for me to say, apparently, and they're basically just going to bankrupt Money Incorporated.
Yeah, they you can tell where the promo was, like where the heat was on, and it was definitely Money Inc. But I just think it's funny. So we fade away from Money Inc., and then the Beverlys fade in, and it's the same setup. They're staring off camera, black background. It's like super over dramatic, and I don't really know why. And the only thing I could think of is maybe this is parodying something, or like they're taking this from somewhere. Because otherwise it really doesn't make sense with anything they've done as of late. Like, this is weird. It's a very weird opening.
This is the first time we've seen this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know they do it numerous times following. So this is not the first and last time we'll see it.
Oh,
We'll
so this
see
is
it.
something they're trying out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it seems like it comes across like a talking head or something.
Yes.
And I think the Beverly's, I think Blake like looks at the camera.
They end up, they both do, which the Money Inc. doesn't.
Yeah.
But they
don't
both
do it.
turn to look at the camera, and like they say they're blind, and then we go into the opening. But yeah, they both look at the camera.
You know, I think I would have to think they looked at the camera because they know soon they'll be out of a job, and they want the promoters to recognize their face.
See, I was
Or
on Raw.
fans. Yeah.
That was on Raw.
So the promoters can be, hey, remember that guy that lost to Money Incorporated on Raw like 3 months ago? He's here. Here's a picture I got from my TV. See, it's him. He turned his face.
It's a smart business move, I guess.
You always play to the camera.
Right.
It's a known rule. I don't believe we have anything coming out of that aside from the Raw video, right? We go
Yeah.
right to a match.
Right up into so we open up with the arena shot. I am surprised because, again, it's another tape show, but I feel like we've been away from the Manhattan Center forever. When really we haven't.
This is only the second week.
Yeah, but I don't know, it feels like forever. So we start right up with Razor Ramon, who's getting mostly boos here. They still, it's a mixed reaction, but it's mostly boos. He did get the full lights on his entrance, so I don't know what was going on last week, but I did notice that for several of the entrances, the lights weren't fully lit up on the entrance stage.
Botchamania.
Yeah, so I don't know what that, but that was good. And Virgil got the same treatment with the lights on the stage because when he came out, they were good. The thing that wasn't good is the indifference from the crowd. They don't give a fuck about Virgil even coming out. It's like he didn't even come out. Horrible.
It's just incredible because, I mean, I know I mentioned the last time he was on the show. This Virgil was super over. Like last year.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And he's within a year and a half, or less than that, really. Like no one gives a fuck. And he's became one of the worst wrestlers going.
I'm telling you right now, Virgil's one of those guys where the 80s turning into the 90s, he's first on the chopping block. He's the first one where you notice, wow, this guy really isn't great. He's the first one up to bat and strike out.
He is the guy that if I were to inherit this company and I saw he had a contract, I would put in the shredder. And then say...
What about Damien Demento?
Damien, well, it would be a package deal then.
Right.
I'd have him lined up. And Repo Man.
Bob Backlund.
No, I'd probably be nice to Bob and just rip it up.
You wouldn't send him a FedEx, be like, hey, you
No.
don't have a job anymore?
I'd call him to the office in Connecticut.
Okay.
Sit him down. Hey, Bob, thanks for being champion for so long. You see this contract? And then, like, slowly just rip it.
Right.
Null and void. See ya.
Yeah, then he'd chicken wing your ass.
Probably. That shit apparently, like, legit hurts.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably give him his job back. So the first match of the night, obviously, is Razor Ramon against Virgil. They trade hammerlocks until Ramon goes to the ropes for a break. And then Ramon works over Virgil in the corner, but Virgil nearly wins with an inside cradle.
All right, so let me stop you there.
It's not even really an inside cradle. I should know.
So
It's fucking awful.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Seeing Virgil trying to play a serious comeback here against Razor was comical. Not only does he look so small in comparison to Razor Ramon, he's so awkward. Like, it's like, how is this guy fighting on Raw against Razor Ramon? It's like funny. It's like you can't take it serious. I think Virgil brings down anybody he's in the ring with. And I hate to say that because it sounds mean. But what the fuck, man?
It's pretty. I would say it's a fair comment.
Yeah, and you know what? Moving into
He doesn't make anybody look good.
No,
That's
it's the opposite. It's so much the opposite, in fact, that Razor started getting chants because that's weird. He got booed when he came out.
Yeah.
So they've turned the fans already. Like, the fans already know.
Well, the last time that Virgil was at the Manhattan Center, there was an audible
Virgil sucks.
Virgil sucks chant.
Yeah.
So it's pretty well known, I guess, here that the fans just don't really care about Virgil.
Yes.
So I don't even know if I can properly describe the inside cradle that he attempted. He basically just wrapped his body around Ramon's legs.
And that's what I mean. It's so awkward. It's like Virgil doesn't know how to wrestle.
He doesn't.
And, like, I feel like you could see the frustration on Razor's face.
It seemed like it looked like he was getting
like,
shit.
oh my god.
How am I supposed to
I
work
am
it?
looking like shit right now because of this guy.
Yeah.
Totally.
So after the roll up, Virgil attempts a drop kick, and then Ramon holds onto the ropes. He crashes to the mat, and I have it noted here. It looks like Ramon's getting frustrated because when he slams Virgil, he like whips him down.
Oh, and even like some of the slaps and kicks that he's laying in, he's being pretty aggressive about it.
It's like a clear indicator, like, you're a jabroni. What are you doing?
Yes.
And there comes a point in the match where Virgil is in an STF, okay, in an attempt to get the fans behind him. He starts like flailing his arms on the mat, which you've even noted, like, that's usually a signification of a tap out.
Yeah.
He does it probably 5-6 times. But the problem with him doing it is that he's flailing it so much, he's really close to the bottom rope. So much to the point that when he flails his arm, it actually hits the bottom rope, so then he has to touch it, because he would look like a moron if he didn't actually touch the bottom rope.
Right.
So at least I can give credit to Virgil for actually touching the bottom rope.
And it's funny here because I remember watching that back, and not only does it look like he's tapping out, but as he's trying to rile up the crowd, it's almost having the adverse effect because the crowd wants Razor to keep the lock in even longer, I feel like.
I did.
Well, yeah, because once he gets the kind of the bottom rope, the crowd's deflated. They're like,
Oh, we thought that was it.
Yeah.
Virgil gets a flurry of offense. I don't even know if I should even consider it a flurry of offense. He just gets a couple of moments here to make resemblance of offense,
Right.
which includes a middle rope clothesline. Ramon avoids a middle rope twisting crossbody, and soon afterwards finishes Virgil off with the Razor's Edge. Virgil really should not be wrestling.
This
At
is,
all.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a match that Razor Ramon did not need to happen. Like, he really probably should avoid having matches like that because they still have a star in Razor Ramon. Mind you, that's after Brett beat him at the Royal Rumble, and he's had no direction since. Yet, there is a star still in Razor Ramon. You keep doing shit like this, I don't know. It's not going to help his chances.
Well, it just seems like a mistimed match here, because if you were to do this in, say, early 92, it's probably a pretty big win for him. Like a year and a half ago.
Yes.
But no, not now. Just no flipping way.
Right.
There's just no way.
Right.
We go to the commentary table where Vince McMahon, Randy Savage, and Rob Bartlett hype up the remainder of the show. And Bartlett shows off his wounds from last week. And I forgot to mention last week, though, that within 20 minutes of last week's show of when the attack happened, he already had a massive bruise on his face.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
Well, the whole thing's funny because at least they made the effort of changing their outfits, which they all did.
That's huge.
Yes, they all did. Savage was in like a very colorful tie-dye outfit. Bartlett had a different suit on. So that's good. But then, like you said, they negate the fact that Bartlett looked like he got beat up a month ago. He went over his wounds and said that one was from Sherry, and he kind of pointed to it. And then he said this one was from... And then he glanced at Savage. And Savage was like, you tripped. Got it? Like, you tripped. It was a tricycle accident. It's got nothing to do with me. So he's like telling him, shut up before it happens again. Like, I'll hurt you again. Like, you don't say nothing to nobody. You tripped. Got it? You understand?
I wonder if he's ever said that to Elizabeth.
Ouch, Bob.
You never know, man.
He's not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He was a lunatic back then.
Yeah, but...
And then come 99...
He does beat women
Send
up.
for the man.
Yeah, he does beat
He's
women
gonna
up.
press Tori Wilson against the wall.
He's probably a maniac, but I don't know if he would ever beat up Elizabeth. I'd like to think that
I would hope to God he did not.
Yeah, I'd like to think he didn't. Was he verbally abusive? I guarantee you he was.
I mean, he did lock her in the room for days.
Yeah, you looked at Hogan, you little slut. Yeah, you probably sucked on his wiener too. Yeah, I can smell it on your breath.
And she's probably like, ooh, yeah.
So, yeah, he was probably a maniac.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Coming out of that, we go to our second match on the evening. And it was Giant Gonzalez against L.A. Gore, the resident porn star looking guy.
TA, fucking Magnum TA. Here he comes again.
Gore didn't want to come into the ring. He was like, you know what, man, maybe I'm good on this one. But Gonzalez, needing the attention, grabs him by the head and brings him into the ring. And pretty quickly wins with a chokeslam.
Yes. So quickly, in fact, that my mind is still on the Raw girl before this match. Listen to her sign. Okay, this is what her sign said that she was holding up.
I didn't even... Oh, my God.
When was the last time you got it raw? That's what the sign says.
What?
Like, how blunt can you be?
I'm surprised we didn't hear anything from Savage. Oh, that's my type of girl.
What's...
Yeah.
It's funny because Bartlett says, last week...
Oh,
I don't know whether or not he's making in reference to like Sherry and Luna and him getting beat up.
Yeah.
But it's like, holy shit, that's a bad one.
Maybe that's like a 90s thing where they don't even realize what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, but like most of them are innuendos.
Oh, yeah.
That one's not.
No, yeah.
That one's not.
Wasn't one of them like, you like it raw?
Yes.
Wasn't something like that?
Yeah.
Insane.
As far as the match, yeah, kind of like what you said. So I literally have written down here. L.A. Gore looked scared AF.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, there's no way I'm fighting this fucking guy. And I was kind of impressed. I'll give Gonzalez credit. So when he picks him up and over the top rope by L.A. Gore's face. Okay. Pretty good imagery there. Then Gonzalez proceeds to hit a horribly sloppy clothesline, a shitty, like, sidekick, and just continued to taunt the crowd. The chokeslam looked rough, and naturally, L.A. Gore got zero offense in. I don't think... Gonzalez is not working. It's not working. I'm not scared of him. You can tell how bad of a wrestler he is at this point. I'm seeing right through him. I'm over it. And I think him having a match like this on Raw, typically where squash matches help these guys, it hurt him. The little moves he did with the other guy getting no offense in, it hurt him. You could see how inexperienced he is. Terrible. Didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I think he might be a guy you keep to just house shows and
You have to
get the most out of him. Because you're right. I mean, this doesn't...
Even for a 2-minute match.
Yeah, no.
I think it hurt more than it helped.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
For sure on that one. Now, going from this, we go to Luna Vachon. And you apparently love Luna Vachon, so I'll let you go ahead.
Oh, I have extensive notes on this as well. So strap in, Bob. Here we go again.
Can't wait. Let me open up my Tinder. Maybe I'll find a Luna Vachon.
Yeah, here we go. So, yes, we cut to backstage. Luna is in a setting, again, straight out of a German dungeon porno. So there's like shackles, and it's like a green screen of pretty much, it looks like a dungeon wall.
Yeah.
And she states that her and the Sensational One now have a history of pain and mayhem. She states that it's in violence and evil. She said at WrestleMania she had no business getting her nose into everything, and that she just kept repeating, the pain, the pain, the pain. And I was like,
You sound like her.
I'm trying.
I know, but
I'm trying to set the stage.
Are you Luna? Because I can't do a Sherry. I'm
well,
telling you right
we got to turn this off now because they know.
Oops.
Anyway, we also saw what happened backstage at WrestleMania. And I was like,
Right.
oh, this is cool. So we see Luna kind of rushes into this. It's so funny. So let me set the stage here for you at WrestleMania. This basically looks like, it's like a little room that looks like a part of one of the trailers for the wrestlers, and had a little piece of printer paper taped on the wall that said emergency room. So it was looking official as hell. So Luna kind of rushes in, she decks the doctor. First of all, the doctor gets punched, and then starts like pulling Sherry off the little medical table and fighting her. So she threw Sherry around the room a good amount before the police literally tackled Luna and pulled her out. But again, the setting kind of killed it because it looks like a dressing room trailer, which it probably was. We also got highlights from the attack last week, and Luna said from this day forward, she will haunt Sherry at every step. She said that soon she will rid the earth of Sherry and become the true goddess of the squared circle. I finished this off with, holy shit, meth is a hell of a drug.
I don't even know what to say. When I saw the chains and stuff, I was thinking this was turning into a BDSM type of situation.
Yeah.
I was entirely expecting guys to be chained up or something.
She's making a lot of weird noises, too. She's like,
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like, what?
Kudos to her for going all in on that character.
Totally committed.
Like,
Totally committed.
and that's how it works, because if she wasn't committed to it, it'd be the shits.
Oh, horrible.
But she fits the part. She looks the part. And she
I believe it. I
played
believe
the
she's a nut job.
Yeah. So coming out of that, we go to our third match of the night, and it is Tatanka, also known again as my boy,
Yee!
taking on Art Thomas. If that is not the oldest guy looking name ever, I don't know what would be.
Yeah, you'd think it's a grandpa coming out.
Grandpa, what are you doing? Not again.
Grandpa Art, you're coming to
All right,
wrestle.
he'll get off the front yard. Just don't hit him. Thomas attacks before the bell and works over Tatanka, but it's just basic strikes. And I literally just have Tatanka went to the end of the trails.
Well, it's funny. So I kind of got something different out of it.
All right, good.
Thomas got so much offense in the beginning.
He really, yes, he did.
He didn't know what to do.
Right.
Like it got to a point, literally, Bob, where he takes Tatanka out of the corner after like a decent amount of offense, and he's holding Tatanka's arm, and he doesn't know what move to hit. Like he's just kind of standing there with him. So of course Tatanka took back over. He took back over to continue working the match with Mark Thomas, but it was hilarious to see this guy like, shit, I'm out of moves. Like, what do I do?
I already did my 5 right hands.
How do I beat this guy? He literally, like, you saw him run out of moves. It was awesome. It was awesome. The match itself got no reaction, I thought. So that was a throwaway.
It really was. And Tatanka's kind of becoming a guy, too, that has no direction.
It's stale.
Yeah,
It's stale.
There's only so many times you can beat nothing but jobbers.
Right.
Or enhancement guys. I mean,
Right.
He literally, I don't think, has been, aside from Sean, the one time in the one-on-one match.
Right, and then
beaten nobody, aside from Rick Martel.
Right, and we've gotten nothing since then.
Yeah.
Like, just nothing.
Yeah, it's just been him in various squash matches.
Right.
Needless to say, we move on to, I guess, our featured match of the night.
I
Not
go
the main event.
promo with the Steiners,
That's
Bob.
not on there. Oh, I forgot. Look at that. I forgot him again.
Scott Steiner is going to whoop your ass.
Hot diggity damn.
Come on, we love that promo.
Now we do.
You're screwing us up.
I'm sorry. Well, coming out of the Ico Pro commercial with the Steiner Brothers, we are heading into our feature match of the night, which is not the main event. So don't worry. There's still plenty more to come. IRS is in the ring. He says that fans won't get an extension from the April 15th deadline if they don't file their taxes. Good old IRS. Always looking out for the fans.
Yes.
The fourth match of the night is the WWF Tag Team Champions Money Incorporated, and they are taking on the Beverly Brothers in a non-title match. So the titles are not at stake here.
Which sketched me out, and something also sketched me out here. Mixed reaction for both teams, and I feel like the crowd wasn't necessarily glad to see four jerk-offs fight each other.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We hate all of these guys.
Yeah, no one's really been kind of a clear-cut face. And if I were to, the way I'm interpreting this feud is I would be taking Money Incorporated as the face team.
I could see that.
Because first off, they paid him off for info.
And then never got it.
It was bad info.
Yeah, they never got it.
Then the Beverly Brothers messed up on an attack, which, knocked down Money Incorporated. Right. And then backstage, Money Incorporated's cutting a promo, and they get attacked from behind.
Right.
I'm supposed to be cheering Beverly Brothers?
Right.
Unless they're thinking, hey, fans really hate Money Incorporated. But
that's what I think they're banking on, and I don't think that's fair, because not only is Money Inc. more established, they're more likable characters, I think.
Yeah, the snooty rich guys, and then you have an evil tax guy and a millionaire.
Right, and you can have fun like, winner. Like, you can still have fun with them.
Well, just on a personal level, I mean, there's some millionaires I like. And I think a couple of my friends are accountants.
Well, that's...
So,
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of... They're trying to take my money, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the heat is misguided here.
Yeah, that's... Basically, this match... The entire match pretty much has very low crowd reaction.
Yes.
All four men are in the ring going at it. And Vince even mentions on commentary that nobody in the crowd really seems to care who wins this match.
And it's funny, too. So, not only that, but, again, Savage and Vince are teasing Bartlett and asking if he took Sherry out on a date. As, of course, Sherry is no ordinary girl, they make mention of. To which Savage says, yeah, well, Bartlett's no ordinary guy either. Which is kind of like a slap in the face. And Bartlett sounding just wicked defeated. He just went, thank you, Randy.
See, the way I'm interpreting it is like, so maybe Bartlett's really starting to pick up on maybe Savage disliking him, and he's just like, you know what, man? I don't think this is a work anymore. Like,
yes.
That's the way I'm interpreting.
That's why I kind of pointed this line out, because I don't think Bartlett's acting at that point. I don't think he's that good of an actor, put it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten to the point where now Savage has Vince on board. And I mean, Vince kind of picked a little bit at Bartlett, but he tried to keep the peace usually in the last couple of months. Now it's literally Vince and Savage versus Bartlett. And it was probably definitely foreshadowing of Bartlett's time coming to a close in the WWF.
I was just going to say, he's probably thinking, maybe I don't need to be humiliated on television.
Yes.
Every Monday by two people now.
Right.
DiBiase and Blake legally start the match off. Blake gets control with a slam, and the Beverly Brothers keep control of DiBiase for a few moments. The referee gets distracted while DiBiase is driven into the corner by the Beverlys, and they keep control of the match. IRS stands on the bottom rope and tags DiBiase, which is in fact illegal. But I don't think I've ever seen that type of way of getting a tag, because it's it was a front face lock, which is a common hold in this era, I guess, for the tease of the hot tag. And IRS kind of showing a level of desperation. I kind of took it as literally standing on the bottom rope, reaching out, making the tag, and I almost thought the referee was going to let it go.
Yeah.
But I don't recall seeing that method of getting a tag.
And it was funny too, because Randy pointed it out and he was like, yup, told you, illegal. So I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
You can't use anything as an advantage.
Yeah.
You can't have your body sticking out of the ropes or anything like that. So standing the ropes or whatever.
I don't think a casual fan knows that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I didn't know it. And I wouldn't classify myself as necessarily casual either.
Yeah.
I don't know.
IRS, so the IRS stand on the bottom, I thought that was a pretty good piece of storytelling.
Yes.
Because it kind of makes them still, I'm taking their faces.
The way this match is unfolding.
Like the Beverly Brothers are heels to me, and then like IRS desperately trying to get his partner.
Yes.
I don't know the way that
maybe
the way I'm interpreting is just not.
Well, I'm kind of leaning towards agreeing with you. I mean, I know watching it at first, I was like, okay, so they're gonna be cheering for the Beverlys because they're taking on Money Inc., who everybody hates, but the way everything's starting to unfold, it's kind of the other way around.
And I think fans might, and like you mentioned before, I think the fans might cheer for Money Incorporated because they're more respected, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah.
They have had success.
Absolutely.
DiBiase fights back with a scoop slam and then tags in IRS, who promptly misses an elbow drop. Bo tags in and controls IRS with a leg drop, and then Blake comes in and takes IRS over with a fireman's carry. The match goes to commercial as IRS continues to be worked over in the corner. Back from break, DiBiase has entered and has a front facelock on Bo.
Yeah, by this time, so we return for commercial, all four men seem to be blown up sky high. Like, they're all sucking wind, and everything's starting to get a little sloppy at this point.
I wonder how much they edited out, because it is kind of weird that DiBiase's in the ring now.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that transition.
And not only that, so if this is a tape show,
yeah,
IRS has already fought a match with Scott Steiner.
Yeah, with Scott, yep.
So from last week.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know that his tank's probably not the highest it could be anyway. Then throw in a match on there, and then another match. And these guys have been on so much over the course of the night, it's no wonder why this match has no heat. And it's no wonder why these guys are so blown up.
Yeah, the crowd doesn't care.
They've been on too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're at the arena, I'm thinking maybe 25% of the show has been these guys.
Yeah, and I'm sick of it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm over it. Give us something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bo is able to kick DiBiase to the mat, and then Bo clotheslines IRS to keep momentum as IRS was tagged in. DiBiase gets tagged back in, and Bo counters a backdrop attempt with a swinging neckbreaker. Blake gets the hot tag and headbutts DiBiase, followed by a backdrop and scoop slam.
I don't like here, and sorry to cut you off again, Bob.
No, you're good.
I don't like that the tag team champs are looking like chumps this whole match.
I have that at the end.
Against the fucking Beverlys, dude.
We'll get there at the end.
Well, at this point in the match, I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's
so bad. So bad.
Yeah. There's only a little bit left here, and we can get to the part there. Bo gets tagged back in, which felt pretty random because he just tagged out and he looked pretty exhausted.
Right.
And nearly pins DiBiase with an elbow drop. I think they even noted it on commentary. They're like, why would he tag him? It doesn't even look like he wants to get back in there. Blake knocks IRS to the floor. And then in the same spot from the Nasty Boys match that I had described earlier, Bo accidentally clotheslines Blake. DiBiase rolls up Bo up for the win and wins the match.
Fuck that finish.
It's like, what the fuck? So if you're a diehard WWF fan, okay. So let's say I was 29 in 93. I'm probably watching Superstars Wrestling Challenge and Raw.
Yeah.
And even All American and Mania. I'm probably watching it all. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If I had watched the Beverly Brothers against Nasty Boys on Wrestling Challenge, and then the next day, because Wrestling Challenge is on a Sunday, so the next day on Raw, I see the same finish in this match that was in the
it's house show
day.
tricks.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You can't use the same exact finish within a day of each other in two different matches.
Dude.
And with one of the teams involved in them in both matches.
And mind you, it's the fucking tag team champions.
I don't. Okay.
Like, what?
Yeah, this is just...
First of all, why a cheap pin? Why a cheap pin?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why they're protecting the Beverly Brothers.
There's literally... So going into this match, I gave the Beverlys pretty much no shot.
Nor should you.
Exactly. Coming out of it, it's like they're positioning the Beverlys as the next champs. Like, oh, they're going to get the belts.
Like a hard fought.
Yeah, what? It's like they're forcing you to want to like these guys. Like, they just took the champs to their extreme. They had to do a cheap roll-up. It's like... To see how much they basically said "fuck Money Inc." in this match was horrible. Horrible.
So the reason why I wanted to hold off on the whole bad presentation of Money Incorporated is I feel like we might go on a little bit of a diatribe on it. So
probably.
So I have it right here as this is just a bad presentation for Money Incorporated. That they have such a hard time with a borderline enhancement tag team.
Exactly.
At this point in time, for Beverly Brothers.
Exactly.
Arguably, they're literally an enhancement team. They'll give you a battle for 8 minutes, but you know they're going to lose.
Exactly.
And they were having such a tough time. And what makes it even more ridiculous is that they were in a major feud going into WrestleMania against Hogan and Beefcake, which they technically didn't even lose. They won by disqualification at the show.
Yeah, they won.
Right. So they're paired up with Hogan Beefcake, and they gave Hogan Beefcake a relatively competitive match to begin with.
Right.
So you would think facing a lower level team like Beverly Brothers, this should be quick work.
And don't forget the promo in the beginning of the show. If the Mega Maniacs couldn't do it, what makes you think the Beverly Brothers can?
Exactly. Now, unless it's a way of maybe showing that they're delusional or they think they're better than they are, but why would you want to sacrifice that knowing that they're entering a program with the Steiner Brothers? Because if you keep Money Incorporated on the same level as what they were, at least in our perception, from the Mega Maniacs match, if and when the Steiner Brothers were to defeat Money Incorporated, since Steiner Brothers are still relatively new, and they have, I would say, a lot of buzz around them from WCW, if they were to beat Money Incorporated, that's going to make the Steiner Brothers an enormous tag team.
That's a huge win.
Yes.
Now, when you do something like this, when the Steiner Brothers, if and when they eventually beat Money Inc., it's like, well, who did they really beat? Because by then, maybe Money Inc. looks like fucking J-Brones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes away from the belts. It takes away from Money Inc. And it takes away from the eventual Steiner Brothers blow-off. All for the fucking Beverly Brothers. Fucking why? I was so pissed at the end of this. I was like, are you kidding me?
Blows my mind.
Like, what? Where did this come from? Why in these last two Raws are the Beverlys being pushed as the main tag team? What?
Well, I mean, I didn't get a vibe of that they were a main tag team, but I got a vibe of them being more competitive than they ever should be.
Well, it's like Vince literally saw them on the board, and they were down way low, and he literally took their name on the slip and, like, inserted it way higher. And it's like, no, I want them here.
Yeah.
And it's like the writers were like, okay, let's try and figure something out. And it was horrible. Horrible. Dude.
Well, if the attempt here was to make the Beverly Brothers into faces, it obviously failed horribly. Because this was most certainly a heel versus heel tag team match. And those are pretty hard to get people behind. Because one of the teams got to be light. And obviously I don't think either team is necessarily light.
Right.
Just from their character perspective. That's why face versus face matches are significantly easier because, well, fans like both of them.
And I'll tell you what, I'd say the Beverlys came out looking more like heels than they did going in for me.
Yes. I mean, the whole structure of the match.
Yes.
I mean, did Money Incorporated really cheat at all? I don't even think they did.
Not as much as I feel like the Beverlys did.
It was...
Dude.
It was just a weird way to kind of... The weird direction to go with your storytelling. I didn't really understand.
And this is where the frustration comes in for brief moments during this time, maybe, and others, where just the booking is so asinine, it's hard to defend the era. And I think that turns people away. And it's unfortunate, but it's a real thing.
Yeah, I would have to say so. I mean, the action wasn't bad.
It wasn't a bad match.
If you ignore the story...
Exactly.
And you just go watch it, the match isn't that bad.
The action itself isn't bad.
Yeah. Just the context of the action makes the match just dumbfoundingly stupid.
And the fact that all four guys are blown up because, they've been on the show fucking 7 times at this point. Or,
Talk about overexposure.
Fucking a million times. Yeah.
In a matter of 2 weeks.
It's just poor booking. I'm chalking it up to poor booking.
I wouldn't have booked it that way, that's for sure. We go back to the ring after a commercial break and whatnot. And
we got a WrestleMania promo, which I just wrote after. Please stop.
A
Mania promo. I'm sorry. WWF Mania.
For Pettingill?
Pettingill.
Why did I write that down?
Please stop. Please stop with that.
Was the same one like brush your teeth or whatever?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't write it down.
Yes.
Well, we go back to the ring and it's Vince McMahon. He's standing in the middle of the ring, trying to get the crowd pumped up as he introduces former WWF World Champion Bret Hart for an interview. Hart comes out and he gets a great reaction, I thought, from the
Really?
Poughkeepsie. Yeah.
I thought it was nothing overwhelming.
I thought it was a great reaction.
Well, for not seeing Bret Hart for so long, it wasn't necessarily a standing ovation.
I thought he got a pretty good reaction.
See, I don't know.
And I mean, that's just what I gathered from watching it, and it kind of shows to me that maybe he shouldn't be taking a backseat to Hogan at this point.
Well, he shouldn't be anyway.
Yes. Bret says that at WrestleMania 9, it wasn't the first time that he was the underdog. He has always been an underdog. He likes being the underdog and knows that people think that he's done, but they couldn't be more wrong. Bret notes that he has lost championships before. He runs down how he's been like a 2-time tag team champion, 2-time Intercontinental champion.
Vince's face is like, oh.
Oh, I forgot.
He's surprised that Bret's pointing out the fact that he's lost all those belts, I think.
Yeah. You were champion that many times.
Right.
Bret asks if he looks like a beaten man, and the fans scream, no!
Yes.
He's going to get back to the top. He's going to make himself a hit list. Get it? Because Hitman, hit list.
So, I feel like that's a line you hated. Like the Hitman's making a hit list.
Well, it's such a cliche for his name. And I don't think I've ever heard him say that before.
That's why I liked it, because I never heard him say it
I've never heard him play into the Hitman nickname.
That's why I liked it.
Ever.
That's why I liked it, and I felt like as soon as I heard it, I was like, "Oh my god, Bob probably fucking hates that."
I didn't mind it. I mean, it's just the first time that I ever heard him say it.
It was weird. It was definitely out of left field.
The first guy on his list is not Yokozuna, and it's not the new WWF World Champion. Instead, it's Lex Luger, and we see footage of Luger decking Hart from behind during that brunch.
Finally,
yeah, where he hit Hart with his running forearm. And Luger is apparently going around saying that Bret lost the title because of him and what he did. Hart says Luger is the number one priority on his list. There's an investigation ongoing regarding Luger's forearm. There might be something in that forearm. That's why he's knocking everybody out. Stay tuned on that one.
Yeah, he says he expects Jack Tunney to inspect that elbow, which kind of sounded to me like sour grapes a little bit from Bret Hart.
Yeah, and I feel like Vince even said elbow too, but it's definitely a forearm.
Yeah, it's a forearm.
Yeah,
right.
They keep on saying it, running elbow striker. It's
elbow. It's what is like the deadly elbow. They
but
like that.
But the angle here is it's his forearm.
It's a forearm.
It's not an elbow, and that kind of was driving me a little nuts.
Right.
Bret says he's going to show Luger that this isn't bodybuilding and that it's wrestling. Hitman also tells both Yokozuna and WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan that he's coming back for what is rightfully his. Mm-hmm. That felt like one of the better Bret Hart promos for me.
Finally, Bret was able to at least deliver
a coherent,
believable promo.
Yeah.
Like, and I was kind of surprised at the end when he goes, oh, he pretty much said he doesn't care if he's got to go through Hogan himself to get back to the top. Which is like, oh, it's kind of like Bret being, fuck you, Hogan. I'm still the guy, and I'm going to show you I'm the guy.
Yep.
Which is good. Because the fans still love him. And I think at this point, the fans respect Bret Hart more than they do Hulk Hogan.
Well, and I kind of took it as maybe the promo was better because Bret was motivated.
I think so. I think he had a direction that he stuck to.
Like his heart is saying, I hate you, Hogan, so I'm going to freaking do But he's got to be pissed about this.
Oh, completely.
Even outside of character, like real life Bret Hart. And if you read his book, he was not thrilled.
Completely.
So that might have been more, also why he was so focused.
Well, I mean, look at this stuff, not to go off again too far ahead of us, but look at this stuff with Shawn. I think Bret was so convincing as a heel because he actually fucking hated Shawn Michaels.
Because everything he was saying, he truly felt that.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like you said, where this is stemming from because my primary target is Lex Luger, but I'm not afraid to fight Hulk Hogan either.
And when he said that, the way that they had the camera angled, you can see Vince's face, and he had a look of like, oh, that's money.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but needless to say, I don't think we ever get that match. Main event for the show. Probably the match we're all been most looking forward to on the program.
I'll be honest, at this point, I really wasn't in the mood for a Bam Bam match, especially after some of the other stuff we've seen on this show.
Well, I bet you were in the mood for the aftermath, but we'll get there in a minute.
Yeah.
The main event is Bam Bam Bigelow, and he's taking on Phil Apollo.
I was like, okay, this is probably going to go on for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much what it did there.
So, yes, Bam Bam basically flattens him with a couple shoulder tackles. He gets him in a seated headlock, really wrenching his head and neck. It looked pretty nasty, actually. Poor Apollo. Apollo was able to kind of mount a few reversals, but nothing substantial, of course. And during this, Doink again makes his way down to the ringside area, messing with the fans. And there goes me hoping it was just Tatanka, who he was kind of giving a hard time. So I fully expected this to maybe be the thing for Doink moving forward. Like he's just going to kind of appear at ringside for a couple people. I don't know. There really wasn't much here. And after posing around for a bit, so Doink just goes back to the backstage area. No effect on the match. But it is ironic because Phil Apollo would one day play Doink.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know, Bob. What do you got? I mean...
No, I mean, it's pretty basic. You know, Bigelow connects with a splash in the corner. And I do have it noted here that he hits a standing senton splash, which got the crowd to be like, oh.
Well, it looked like it fucking hurt.
Yeah, because he got...
full weight.
I was going to say, because most of the time when somebody does that, maybe their butt will take most of the impact on the mat. So
right.
But when Bigelow does it, his entire back lands on Apollo.
Yes.
So even I was like, whoa, man. Yeah. That probably did not feel great for
Probably
Apollo.
Can't breathe.
Yeah, he got the wind knocked out of him for sure. Bigelow promptly finishes Apollo off with a top rope diving headbutt. I mean, you clearly weren't in the mood for it, but I kind of enjoyed it. Again, I'm kind of digging what they're doing with Bigelow, but it seems to be it's just the opponents that he's been given. After the match, Friar Ferguson comes out and checks on Apollo, telling Bigelow to back off. And then Ferguson dropkicks Bigelow to the floor from behind. I'm telling you right now, if Bam Bam Bigelow and Friar Ferguson feud, I'm going to put my head in the oven and put it on 700 degrees. I'm just going to die. I'm going to torture myself with that because that is everything they're doing with this guy, and we're going to get Friar freaking Ferguson.
So, when the Friar and Bam Bam had words, and Bam Bam turned his back to get drop kicked out of the ring, I was real upset because, like, why? Why is this a thing? And then why is he gonna fight Bam Bam Bigelow? Not only does he look larger than Bam Bam Bigelow, but he's the face, and he drop kicked Bam Bam out of the ring like he was nothing. What the fuck is that?
You gotta invest in the monk, man.
What the
endless
fuck
possibilities.
Is that?
It's a moneymaker.
Why is Friar Ferguson coming out to save Phil Apollo?
Well, he's a monk, so he's very caring towards everybody. Aren't monks usually just sitting down all the time and like
non-violent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're based on peace and not drop kicking guys out of the
ring.
ring.
Well, he was saying peaceful, hey Bigelow, don't do it, and then when Bigelow ignored that, then
he used violence, which again monks don't do.
Yeah, well,
dude, holy shit, I hate this guy. I fucking hate Friar Ferguson. Hate him.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm a fan.
Hate him.
Can't say it. Needless to say, though, I don't even know if he makes another appearance on Raw, to be honest with you, because this is a pretty short-lived character.
God.
But don't you wait. He is going to be repackaged into one of the greatest characters in the history of the World Wrestling Federation.
Honestly, I don't think it could get any lower than Friar Ferguson.
Well, I want you to pick up that bar and then drop it, because that's where it's going to go. It's going to be loads of fun.
So, I'm done. I'm done talking about him. Next week,
yes,
it is announced that Crush takes on Luger, which I was like, okay.
I can dig that.
Okay. And that's all that's promoted. And then I was like, well, fuck, that worries me. Because if that's the match you're promoted, I'm pretty worried about the rest of the card.
I like that idea of Crush Lex Luger. Nice week. That is probably one of the biggest matches in the last couple of weeks.
On paper, sounds good. Execution, if that's your only promoted match, I'm scared. I'm real scared.
It'll be interesting to see how Luger works with a guy the size of Crush.
And who can't really work.
So that is true.
That'll be good.
He lost to a clown.
Yeah. I have to say this week was considerably worse than last week.
Wow.
It goes to the fact that for some reason live shows end up being much better than tape ones. There was a lot of hokey bullshit that happened, and more of Friar Fat Ass is not a good thing. Nothing really happened in this episode. So to me, save yourself the dignity. It was a skippable week.
I get it. I mean, I thought it was a little bit better than last week. And my main focus for it is, again, if you take the context out of the tag team match, it's okay. It's not a bad match. But then I really like Bret Hart's promo. It gives him a sense of a direction. And I would, based off that promo right now, I would probably buy a ticket to see Bret versus Luger.
Just based off that promo?
I think so. I think he might have talked me into a seat.
See, I need a little bit more from Luger before I buy into that.
No, I get that. But just from what Bret Hart, because Bret Hart's not usually a good promo guy. So hearing him, and I just had the sense of this is legit.
That was refreshing.
He does not like
it was
Luger
refreshing.
Or Hogan.
Yes.
Yeah. So that, I think right there, that alone, I think I'm sold on it.
Sure.
But I guess, I mean, I get when I was watching it, I just had a feeling that it was maybe a little bit better than last week's. Well, last week was a decent enough show too, though.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, it's funny because, like we spoke last week, I think it was she was on the opposite foot. I thought last week was a pretty decent show. I don't think you enjoyed it necessarily as much as I did, but that's kind of where I am this week. I mean, it's just the tape show, and Bret's promo was not enough for me to save this. The tag team match pretty much pissed me off. The Ferguson shit, the Bam Bam match, which I didn't really care about. It's just there wasn't enough on this show for me to really care about watching it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not blowaway shows, and realistically, you can probably skip both of them if you really had to.
Sure, you could. I think, again, I don't know what it is.
We've seen a lot worse, though, I think.
We've seen a lot worse, and for some reason, dude, for me, that Luna and Sherry thing made that last week's episode. So the first of the two tapings. I don't know. I mean, it's funny to see that, though.
There was probably more angle-wise in the first one.
Right.
But I think I just enjoyed this. I don't know. I think I enjoyed the second one more.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I mean,
fair enough.
They might realistically be on the same level.
Probably.
Personally.
Yeah, there's probably just as
Maybe
much
not
pros
this week was better. Yeah.
and cons. Yeah.
In terms of, usually they do tape 2 episodes in the same venue. So maybe I could just say that this is the best combo episode, maybe. Like they're both equally okay. Like there isn't one that's really great and there's one that's like, well, that sucked.
Yes,
that's balanced out, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point because usually it is that way. It's usually, wow, the live show was really pretty good, and then the tape show was horrendous.
Almost every single time.
Yes.
And this time is just kind of equally average.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Equally average.
Yes.
So I think moving forward, I'm going to be really excited about the direction of Raw and the IcoPod podcast, because the next 2 shows that we'll be covering will be the April 26th Raw, which will have Crush and Luger, and then May 3rd edition of Raw, and those are, I believe, back at the Manhattan Center.
Okay.
So, like I've told you before, like I said on the air, May is a pretty fun month for Raw.
Right.
Some memorable moments. We'll see how it holds up in our reaction to them nearly 30 years later, I guess. This is 25 years later. So.
Yeah. For me, you know what, Bob? It's nice to know that moving forward, there's going to be some angles that I'm going to actually care about. Because just from what little has been set up so far, I'm into it. You know, I'm into Bret and Luger. I'm into Money Inc. versus Steiners. Again, I'm still holding out hope that the Tonka and Doink might have something brewing there. I don't know if that's a thing or not.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I think it would be good.
Doink and Tatanka.
I don't know. I'm more looking forward to the next couple of weeks than I was coming off of WrestleMania. So even just a couple weeks later, I've already kind of started getting excited again.
Well, so I just want to point out, so you mentioned some of the feuds going on there. So we're, 3 weeks now from WrestleMania? The 5th, 12th, and 19th?
Yeah.
Nothing about Michaels.
Right.
Nothing about Perfect.
Conspicuous by their absence. Both of them.
Nothing about Perfect. Has Bob Backlund been around? Don't think so.
Right.
So there's some. I guess bigger names that you just haven't really heard. Taker. I don't think there's anything with Taker going on.
Right. I just like that we've seemingly put kind of a lot of feuds from WrestleMania to bed. Like, we're moving on from that. Even though they keep trying to plug it to buy the encore.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be moving forward.
Well, it's funny, though, that they're moving on from the WrestleMania 9 feuds when like none of them have had a concrete resolution.
Exactly.
It's weird.
But maybe they were like, are they really worth it? And I'm sorry, but half of them that went unfinished probably aren't worth the finish.
Yeah.
Do we really want to see the finish?
I guess maybe you could even say Perfect Luger may have had their finish on the England tour.
Right.
To begin with.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure that they're going to be ignoring the fact that Luger lost. Because he would lose those matches, I believe, cleanly to Perfect.
Oh, wow.
So they'll still promote him on TV as undefeated, too.
Yeah, that's interesting.
A little interesting tidbit on that.
Yeah, that is interesting.
They seem to do that, though, quite a bit. They'll ignore...
It's convenient.
What happens on the house shows.
Sure.
Unless they really need to make note of it. But.
Sure. Yeah, unless it's going to turn into an angle.
Yeah. Or like a title change or something, they'll make note of it. But
right.
If freaking Randy's, like, I don't even know what a good example would be. If Terry Taylor were to pin Randy Savage in his hometown, they're not going to ever make mention of that.
Right. Even though you'd see that and be like, oh, what?
Yeah. Like in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, they'd be like, Terry Taylor is number one contender because he just pinned Randy Savage. And they'd be like, wait, that did not happen.
Yeah.
You got anything else for this episode of Icopod?
I say that puts a bow on it, Bob. Again, I can't necessarily meet you there with saying that this was an enjoyable episode for me, but that's what the podcast world's all about, buddy. And we got listeners, I should say, not viewers. Yeah. We have listeners out there who might disagree with me, they might disagree with you, and that's why they should write into the Facebook and emails. What are those again, Bob?
Well, Facebook is Icopod. You just type it right in the search bar. ICOPOD. Boom. You can give us a like and comment with us. And then there is the email that is icopodcast@gmail.com.
And you know what? If you liked the bonus show, or shows at this point, maybe we released another one. Ooh, maybe.
Who knows?
Let us know, because it's kind of a test format for us. It's a different listen for sure. Again, those are our live watches. So if that's something you're interested in or you want to hear more of, let us know. Because again, we're not quite sure. We're still testing that out.
Yeah. I mean, I personally enjoyed doing it. It was a different way of doing it. So
I'd say they're more fun for us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, instead of like writing notes and stuff, like being able to live watch it and stuff.
Sure.
That's some fun stuff, especially for like a longer show like that. Like
Right.
pay-per-views or something. If we just did live watches or something, but who knows?
Right.
So probably at this point, if I'm talking to Bob in the post-production part, I'm probably having the Beverly Brothers music playing right about now at some point. And I know it's something that you've never heard, I guess. Because it's an edited song.
Yeah, I'm interested. Which is funny, like why, but whatever.
Yeah. So hey, Austin here in the, future Austin here. At this point in time, you'll be listening to probably a little bit of the Beverly Brothers music. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Sorry, in my head I'm thinking about it. For Austin Skinner, I'm Bob Conley Jr. And you've been listening to Icopod.
You gotta hear it.